Wisconsin State Attorney General Josh Call tells WTMJ that he's filing a lawsuit in joint with 27 other states' attorneys general to prevent the sale.
It's not just general personal information. It's much more sensitive information. So we're talking about things like DNA data, health-related traits, potentially indication about what your medical risks may be. And what we are arguing is that that kind of information is too sensitive to be sold without people's express and informed consent.
More than 15 million people have used 23andMe's services. An inadequate teacher training, a lack of collaboration across the district, and inconsistent use of core curriculum, all issues highlighted in an audit published today by the consulting group MGT.
The audit was requested by Governor Tony Evers earlier this year in an effort to get the district back on track. The report released today focused on the district's academic systems and echoed the findings of a previous review of the district's operations. MPS is currently missing out on more than $40 million in state aid because it's failed to submit financial reports to the state. District Superintendent Dr. Brenda Casilius says the district will be cash-strapped next school year, estimating that they'll be working on a $75 to $100 million shortfall. Neil Doyle, WTMJ News.
And there are only 20 farmers across the country with a self-driving tractor. A Wisconsin farmer is one of them.
A farmer in Marathon County is testing a tractor that doesn't need a driver. It's Michael DeYoung's farm equipment, John Deere's technology.
We set up the fields, the boundaries, and the work that we would like it to do, and step out of the cab, and as easy as swiping your finger across your screen on your phone, it goes to work.
And while the autonomous tractor is doing the tilling, it can also send back performance data straight to John Deere.
It does send the data back on I'm going to say by a 15-minute intervals.
John Deere hopes to have a full fleet of self-driving equipment by 2030, and DeYoung's work in Wisconsin will help make that happen. Jessica Ty, WTMJ News.
Sports, traffic, weather, and next Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News time is 6:04.
With all the positive Google reviews continuing to pour in for Rich Lawn's Tire and Service Centers, we want you to know we appreciate you.
You were due for service, we delivered, and then you went the extra mile and wrote a few kind words about the service you experienced.
Yeah, thank you so much. Michael, Glenn, Jeff, Lisa, Carol, Jason, John,
Wait,
Michelle,
hang on a
Ryan.
second, Dad. As fun as it may be to name every single person who's ever left us a Google review, there just isn't enough time. We get 60 seconds, and I'd say we've got about 28 left.
Ah, good point, Courtney.
Listen, we appreciate every last one of you for helping us maintain a nearly 5-star Google rating. And we're going to keep on shooting for the stars, especially when it comes to providing top-notch auto repair service.
Yep, and remember, be safe, buckle up, and hey, always make sure you've got good tread on your tires. Peter, Bruce, Samantha, Kimberly, Nick, Heather,
Oh,
Marissa,
Dad.
George, Jeremy, Diane, Brad, Paul.
Rich Lawns. This change has leveled us up while being able to maintain the same quality of service that we've always provided, with no upfront fees and 1.9% real estate commission. We're proud to be part of the Century 21 family, so you can move fearlessly with the added confidence of top-of-the-line marketing for maximum home exposure. And that means more eyeballs and the real potential for the highest price for your home. This is Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty, benefit-realty.com, where you pay less for full service. Each office is independently owned and operated. First off, our 1.9% commission structure helps get their foot in the door, and that's why agents like working here. But what they really like is having the strongest marketing tools available, with the resources to help them sell homes at the highest prices to satisfy their clients. Century 21 Benefit Realty offers what agents like most, and that's to help them be successful. If you really want to believe in the business model that you're representing, give me a call. I'm Angela Calais with Century 21 Benefit Realty. Call me, and let's talk about your future. Each office is independently owned and operated.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all Sports Desk. Brewers continue their series against the Cardinals tonight. The game starts at 7 o'clock. Coverage begins with Brewers warm-up right after the news. And it's become one of the most exciting series on ice as the Edmonton Oilers beat the Florida Panthers in overtime Thursday night, winning 5-4 and evening the series record to 2-2. Game 5 continues tomorrow at Edmonton at 7 o'clock. All right, taking a look at your roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. We have no major incidents out on the road, so it should be a smooth drive tonight for all of southeast Wisconsin. All right, time for your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Tonight's going to be mostly cloudy with a low of 55 degrees. Saturday, partly cloudy with a high of 74 degrees. Sunday, partly cloudy with some scattered showers and storms with a high of 76 degrees. Monday will be partly cloudy and warm with a chance of thunderstorms and a high of 83 degrees. Tuesday, partly cloudy and warm and humid with some thunderstorms likely and a high of 83 degrees. Right now in Madison it's 73 degrees. In Green Bay it's 56 degrees. In Waukesha it's 67 degrees. And right here in Milwaukee it's 57 degrees. I'm Sean Brenda, Outdoor Living Unlimited. WTMJ News Time is 6:07.
This is Brewers Warmup with Dominic Cotroneo. Hear lineups, manager insights, and a preview of tonight's game right now. This is Brewers Warmup. Here's your host, Dominic Cotroneo.
All right, let's make it a streak here for the Crew as they win yesterday. Trying to keep the bad times going for the Cardinals as they come in ice cold. And it's Fastball Freddy on the mound today for the Brew Crew, as Game 2 of this 4-game series gets going in just about an hour's time. Welcome into Brewers Warmup. I'm Dom Cotroneo. I'll be with you after the game today as well, talking whatever this one has in store for us with Freddie Peralta, the right-hander, 5-4, a 2.69 ERA, going up against Eric Fedde, 3-5, a 3.54 ERA. We'll give you the lineups in just a moment, but part of the saga in the last 24 hours, even 48 hours, if you want to go back to Sunday, is surrounding Aaron Civale. And we got some news about that today. So let's backtrack on the timeline here of what all went down this past week. Starting on Wednesday in the finale of that series against the Braves. It was learned that the Brewers would be calling up Jacob Misiorowski, Brewers, one of their top pitching prospects, to start yesterday's game. But in doing so, he was going to occupy a spot in the starting rotation and stay there. Meaning, you have a 5-man rotation. They were not going to go with the 6-man. One man is out, and that man was Aaron Civale. And Civale kindly did not appreciate that he was being moved to the bullpen, and then requested a trade from the Brewers to another opportunity that would allow him to start. We played this audio in yesterday's Brewers extra innings of him. It's a very odd thing to say that he requested a trade. We never see this in Major League Baseball. And it was an odd but sort of professional media scrum with him yesterday where he just explained all the reasons. Like, hey, I'm not here to tear down my teammates or tear down the team or the front office. It's just, I want to start, and I feel like I'm best as a starter. I have only started in regular season. I want to start, I want to start, I want to start. And I am openly exploring opportunities, hopefully with my representation and with the Brewers, to say, get me to a team that will allow me to start. So that happens yesterday. And then we wake up to the news this morning and later confirmed a couple hours later, the Brewers have made a trade and acquiesced to Aaron Civale's wishes, trading him to the Chicago White Sox. In return, they get Andrew Vaughn, a former 3rd overall pick in the 2021 draft. Vaughn was already optioned this year for the first time in his career to AAA Nashville. He spent 4 years in the show. He rocketed through the minor league system for the White Sox coming up to the show. But the concerns with Vaughn are two things. He's got one more year of team control with him being in arbitration, and 2, he's optioned. His offense has been his calling card when he was drafted. It was great his first couple of years with the White Sox, but it has since regressed. So with Civale being an expiring contract, he's a free agent to be. Pat Murphy offered some explanation and the view from the Brewers' perspective on what this means for Civale moving forward.
Really, it's his free agent year, as you've mentioned. And for him, this gives him an opportunity to start, and they've got a big opportunity for him every 5 days, and that's best for the player. And we looked at it like, can we do something to help ourselves in the meantime? So this might be the answer.
Part of the deal as well is sending cash back to the White Sox to care for the difference in salary. So this year, Andrew Vaughn in his second year of arbitration was earning $5.85 million, whereas Aaron Civale in his final year of arbitration was making $8 million. So the Brewers actually sent just over $2 million to the White Sox to cover the difference in salary and the prorated amount that would be owed to Aaron Civale. So the way that the money works out is that it's actually a wash for both teams, meaning the Brewers had already committed that $8 million to Aaron Savali. So it's not like they're saving cash here. They're making the deal well by eating some of the cash for the White Sox while Vaughn comes back, who's optionable, and has another full year before he is a free agent. The reason why they would acquire a first baseman who's a post-hype prospect is depth, and he will be assigned to AAA Nashville. The reasoning is if something catastrophic happens where Bowers and or Reese get injured between now and July 31st, you don't want to be the last one in the ballroom. Oh, my goodness, we can't find a first baseman, that sort of thing. So it's depth. It's something that has a track record, somebody who has a track record of success in the big leagues, and maybe an easy change of scenery candidate. So, again, he is not straight to the big leagues as Andrew Vaughn, but he is now in the organization. And Aaron Savali joins a whole bunch of former Brewers, right? Tyler Alexander, Adrian Hauser, Vinny Capra, Walker McKinven, all down there on the south side. So that's your breaking news today. The other roster moves that go with that today is bringing Grant Anderson back up to the big leagues from AAA Nashville. So he's available in the bullpen tonight. Furthermore, they called up Drew Avens, who was acquired off waivers from the A's earlier this month, just a few days ago. He is here. He'll be getting here right before first pitch. He is going to be serving as the fourth outfielder today because Daz Cameron has been placed on the paternity list. So congratulations to the Cameron family. We'll give you the starting lineups and relive a little bit of last night's game coming up on the other side of this break. Brewers warm-up goes to the bottom of the hour. Then the on-deck show built by Menards takes over from there. Jeff Levering and Lane Grindle on the call here on your home of the Brewers, 620 WTMJ.
With Amazon Business, smart business buying tools enable buyers to find and purchase items fast. Free up your teams and focus on your future. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
Pain, tingling, burning in your hand and wrist, wakes you up at night, makes life difficult. Working with your hands is nearly impossible. If that sounds like you may suffer with carpal tunnel syndrome. The problem is Medicare pays for the old open surgery done in a hospital or surgery center. And it's no walk in the park. Big incision, 6-week recovery. I mean, imagine your hands being bandaged up, unable to use it for 6 weeks. So if you want to, you can have that old open surgery the government says to get, or you have another option. An ultra minimally invasive procedure done in the office that can give you immediate relief in 15 minutes and you are back to your life in just one day. The Ovation Technique, only at Ovation Hand Institute. You've suffered long enough. You don't have to put the fix off anymore. Visit ovationhand.com and see the difference with your own eyes. ovationhand.com.
Rivals meet again when the Brewers battle the Cardinals June 12th through the 15th. Come for a duel between the Contreras brothers on the diamond and stay for one of the best weekends of summer. It's Tropical Day, Saturday, June 14th, featuring a Brewers straw hat with special tickets. Then take Dad to the Father's Day game for a Barrelman cooler giveaway on June 15th. It doesn't get any better than this. Get in on the action at Brewers.com.
WTMJ's John Mercure here. Will interest rates go up or down? We'll know much more June 18th when the Fed announces its next rate decision. Do you wonder how the announcement will impact your decisions, maybe your portfolio? Join Annex Wealth Management's chief economist, Dr. Brian Jacobson, for Instant Insight. 2 p.m. June 18th, Instant Insight is when Annex kind of goes live after important announcements like the Fed announcement to help explain what it means for you and for your money. It's free. Register now at WTMJ.com or events at AnnexWealth.com, June 18th, 2 p.m.
Now, more of Brewers Warm-Up on WTMJ.
Welcome back. I'm Dom Cotroneo. Brewers and Cardinals getting ready to go at the top of the hour. Let's get you the starting lineups, shall we? Starting with the home team, Milwaukee Brewers. It's 37-33, and now in second place in the Central Division. All we care about is first place. By the way, the Cubs lost today. But we're not thinking about that. We're thinking about tonight's game. Here's a lineup. Sal Frelick will lead off once again. 3 hits yesterday and a Gatorade bath to go with it. He's in right. Batting second is Jackson Chourio, his 12th homer of the year. He is in center. William Contreras facing off against his brother. He's behind the plate. Want to get his offense going a little bit. His batting average has dipped below league average. Cleanup hitter is Christian Yelich. He's cooled off since his 12-game hitting streak. He's DHing again. Rhys Hoskins has also cooled off. He's at first base. He's got 10 homers on the year. The sixth batter is Isaac Collins, who very quietly has an OPS right around 700. He continues to perform well for the Crew. He's in left. Bryce Terang hits seventh. He's playing second once again. Caleb Durbin made some nice plays defensively at third yesterday, and he hits eighth. Finally, Joey Ortiz rounds out the order. The shortstop had a double yesterday as well. He's batting ninth. Again for the Crew, Frelick, Churio, Contreras is the top third. Yelich, Hoskins, and Collins in the middle. Terang, Durbin, and Ortiz at the bottom. On the other side for the Redbirds, it'll be Lars Nootbaar leading off in left field. Mason Wynn, the shortstop, hits second, followed by Ivan Herrera is DHing once again. Wilson Contreras is at first base, the brother of William, batting cleanup. Alec Burleson is in right field today, batting fifth. Nolan Arenado is at third base once again. Nolan Gorman in at second base. Still for the injured Brendan Donovan. Not quite yet for Donovan's toe. Batting eighth, it'll be Pedro Pajes behind the plate. And Michael Ciani gets the start in center field over Victor Scott II. Ciani, a defensive wizard, is in center field. So almost the exact same lineup as yesterday, aside from the center fielder. So once again, Nootbaar, Wynn, Herrera the top third, Contreras, Burleson, Arenado the middle, and then finally Gorman, Pajes, and Ciani. Let's talk a little bit about yesterday, right? One of the big moments, obviously, for Jacob Mizorowski's start was the fact that he showed off his mix. 5 no-hit innings with 5 strikeouts.
Pitch, swing and a miss. Pajes is gone. 1-0-1 on the fastball from Mizorowski. 5 scoreless and no-hit innings from the Brewers right-hander in his big league debut.
It was fantastic stuff from Miz all night, and Pat Murphy talked about it in yesterday's postgame in the fact that he gets 5 strikeouts, which maybe was a little lower than some people thought. Also, cramping impacted him from being able to finish a 6th inning. But he got 5 strikeouts on 4 different pitches. I think that's very significant in the development of Jacob Mizorowski to show he's not just a thrower. That changeup he threw yesterday to Gorman is going to be seared in my mind for a very long time. Also, he showed off the slider that looks like a cutter and the curveball too. So very excited for what he's going to be doing this year. How about Joey Ortiz? He continues to hit the ball hard as of late, and he was part of the big 5th inning for the Crew that busted the game open.
Lined into right, a base hit. Burleson will cut it off, but Terang will come around and score. On his way to second is Ortiz with a hustle double. It's 2-0.
And then Joey made a great base running read on a Sal Frelick flare with the infield in.
Lined into left. That is going to get down. 1 run's in. Ortiz right behind him. They both score. 4-0 Brewers.
We'll talk about the base running play in our final segment of Brewers Warmup. But then the cherry on top is the Brewers have scored 4 runs without a ball leaving the yard. Well, until Churio came up.
Fly ball to center. It is way back, and it is gone. Jackson Churio's got a dozen homers, and the Brewers have broken it wide open.
A 5-run 5th off Sonny Gray. It was the last pitch that the ace would throw on the evening and end his day with a loss. I mean, he came in with over 13 scoreless innings, and he gives up 6 on his card. So the Brewers got some good base running yesterday. Let's go under the hood here and go beyond the box score. I'll tell you about why that is significant for the Crew in our final segment of Brewers Warm-Up. Then it'll be the news. Then it'll be the On Deck Show right here on your home of the Brewers, 620 WTMJ.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
After writing 3 unsuccessful offers, Brenda decided to make a no-regrets offer on this next property. She offered $35,000 over asking and promised to complete the purchase even if the appraised value came in as much as $25,000 below the accepted offer price. Why? Because she was tired of losing, and because her AccuNet loan consultant showed her that even in her worst-case scenario, no additional money would be needed at closing, and her payment, which on this home was much more affordable than others she wrote offers on, would only increase by $17 a month. Brenda's no-regrets offer, backed up by a rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval from AccuNet, was accepted over several others. And wouldn't you know, the appraised value came in at the significantly higher than asking purchase price, which happens 9 out of 10 times in our experience. If you or someone you know wants help understanding what a no-regrets pre-approval might look like, get started by clicking on the blue button at AccuNet.com. That's AccuNet.com. BrewsWarmup.com.
Hey, it's Father's Day weekend. Don't forget your dad. WTMJ's John Mercure here tonight through Sunday at the historic Fox and Hound Supper Club. All dinners are buy one, get one free. This is an incredible place to treat your dad. What great value, too. This Saturday only, enjoy a 10-ounce prime rib and a 5-ounce lobster tail with garlic cream sauce, your choice of potato, fresh vegetables, super salad, and the Fox and Hound's warm bread with that honey cinnamon butter. I love that. For $79.99, and that's for 2 dinners. 2 dinners. Celebrate with your dad with an old-fashioned, over 20 bourbons, 100 wines, all the ice-cold beer choices that he loves in those 8 unique dining rooms. The Fox and Hound sits in the heart of the Kettle Moraine Forest. The drive and the views are spectacular. And your second dinner is free. This Saturday only, your prime rib and lobster dinner with all the delicious sides, just $79.99 for 2 dinners. Call and reserve today for your Father's Day table. It's a free dinner for Dad. FoxandHoundsRestaurant.com.
In 1964, we were making strides towards space travel.
Mary Poppins was the #1 movie in theaters.
And the Beatles were taking America by storm.
Which was long before I was born.
Facts. 1964 is also the year it all started for Richland's Tire and Service Centers. 60 years of continuous growth and more happy customers than you can shake a stick at.
Okay, the streamers are a bit overkill. It's just us in the studio.
All right. But it's important to know accomplishments like these aren't possible without a dedicated team. So hats off to them and our founder, my dad, Dick Mitchke, for understanding the importance of customer focus.
Facts. There's no 60 years of anything without you, the customer, which is why our focus will remain on you and only you for years to come.
Thank you from all of us here at Richland's Tire and Service Centers.
Richland's Tire and Service, such a refreshing change. Richland's.
Back to Brewers Warm-Up on WTMJ.
Let's talk base running, shall we? Brewers Warm-Up concludes with this segment. The news at the bottom of the hour will then lead you into the On Deck show coming up in just a moment. Eric Fetty versus Freddie Peralta. First pitch scheduled for 7:10 as you make your way here to the ballpark tonight. Roof is closed. Panels are open. Base running. It's not just stolen bases. And we talked to Pat Murphy about what makes this team successful. One of the things that we can do in looking at how to evaluate teams, and I know we can sometimes get lost in the sauce with all of these numbers and how many ways that we can evaluate a team. But Baseball Savant and StatCast use their own metric called base running run value. I know this sounds nerdy, this sounds next level, but the simplest way is to decide is, hey, stolen bases and taking an extra base, can we value that into one number? The example that Savant uses, Trey Turner has been the most valuable base runner in the StatCast era with a base running value of creating 55 runs for the last 9 seasons. Now, that sounds like mumbo jumbo. But the point of the matter is we can assign a run value for every stolen base or advance via balk. That's a positive to your differential. If you are caught stealing or if you are picked off, if you are thrown out trying to advance, that's worth a negative number. So all of that is meant to put into this formula. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because the Brewers are first place in Major League Baseball in this category, and they're on pace to maybe have the best base running season ever in this tracking era. They're at plus 10 base running runs added through their base running. And you may be thinking, well, Dom, of course, they steal a bunch of bases. And you're partially right. We can even split it based on runs earned via stolen bases and runs earned via extra bases. The Brewers are in second in Major League Baseball in runs via stolen bases. They're at 4, whereas the Cubs are at 5. But the Cubs have 0 runs via the extra base, whereas the Brewers lead baseball at a plus 6, thus giving them plus 10, which is 4 better than the team in second, the Detroit Tigers. All that is to say, this is how the team is built. And Pat Murphy offered an explanation and kind of an analogy as to why it has to work for a team like the Brewers.
We're a work in progress, you know. We're trying to be really good at it. We feel like that's an area you have to be good at. You know, like if you're that team that has that skill set on your team, you have to develop. It's maybe like a football team without an offensive line. Well, what are we going to do here? You know what I mean? Well, then we better throw quick passes to the outside, and we better have skilled receivers that can do it. Or it's a team with a great offensive line but no skilled receivers. Well, we better be able to run the ball. So we have a bunch of guys that are capable of base running, so it has to be an element of our game. We have so much youth without the number of major league at-bats underneath there.
So all of that is to say, openly admitting, hey, this team doesn't have a ton of power. We've been saying this since the beginning of spring training. And I've been saying since the beginning of spring training, this team's going to run. It's what they have to do. They're the fastest team in baseball based on average sprint speed. They're in the top 3 in total stolen bases and in extra bases taken. You look at Joey Ortiz's great base running play yesterday, charging just 2 yards stride for stride behind Caleb Durbin for 2 runs to score on a soft single into left center field that turned the game from a 2-0 score to a 4-0 score. Then obviously Churio hitting the home run made it moot, but the point stands. Maybe the Brewers aren't elite at slugging the ball, but they're elite at running the bases, and you got to be elite in something in Major League Baseball in order to get wins, and they're 4 games above 500 and officially in this playoff race. So we will be keeping an eye on everything else the rest of the year. And again, the Cubs did lose today, if you want to pay attention to that thing for the Brewers' next opponent. That's going to do it for my program here for now. I'll be with you after the game today as well for Brewers extra innings, reacting to it all after the game. Up after the news, it'll be the On Deck Show built by Menards. But for now, I kick it back to our studios. Here with the news anchor desk is Sean Brinda.
Thanks, Tom. The Milwaukee Public School District is missing out on more than $40 million in state aid. According to a notice the Wisconsin Department of Public Instruction sent MPS earlier this month, the state is currently withholding $42 million from the district because of late or missing financial reports. The state is also withholding $16 million in special education funding from 2024. DPI said it will release the funds to MPS when they return the required financial reports. And Iran's ambassador to the UN says Israel